see them.
I'm not reaching for anything.
Keep them up. You match.
You don't want to do this, Mitchell.
You know
I know who broke your brother's
What did you
case.
just say?
The truth keeps
Don't
you awake
move.
at night.
Ryan, he's going.
Stop! Police!
Taser
Down!
ready.
On the
Stay
floor
still.
now!
Okay, I'm
I'm
down.
The street was silent, but tension filled the air. Officer Mark Benson's patrol had started routinely, responding to reports of minor theft in a quiet neighborhood. But inside the pocket of his jacket, something moved. His body cam was recording, capturing every step, every glance, and every unspoken intention. A single act, a moment of misjudgment, would be preserved in real time. The footage would later reveal deception, exposure, and the exact moment accountability arrived. Every sound, the creak of shoes on pavement, distant sirens, a rustle of paper, was recorded clearly. Benson believed no one was watching, but the body cam captured it all. 8 minutes of video would document the truth, exposing an officer crossing a line and the instant consequences that followed. Officer Mark Benson had been on patrol for over 5 hours. The night was quiet, with only occasional calls about traffic issues and minor disturbances. He received a report of a suspected theft in a residential area. The dispatcher provided limited details, but Benson arrived at the location with routine vigilance. His body cam was activated, recording both video and audio. As he approached the alley behind the reported residence, Benson noticed a small pile of belongings near a dumpster. He moved closer, surveying the area for any signs of suspicious activity. The body cam captured every step, every glance, and the slight tension in his posture. He picked up an object from the ground, examining it carefully. For a split second, Benson paused. The body cam recorded the motion. He glanced around to ensure no one was observing, then carefully placed the item in a nearby trash bag. The gesture was subtle but fully recorded by the body cam. Benson continued to survey the scene, speaking into his radio. He mentioned the location, the items found, and his intent to secure evidence. He instructed dispatch to notify the property owner of the recovery, maintaining a calm, routine tone. Every word was captured clearly on the body cam's microphone. Moments later, another officer arrived as backup. Benson handed over the trash bag, explaining that the items had been found nearby. His colleague nodded and began documenting the evidence. The body cam recorded the interaction, capturing every word and movement in real time. As the backup officer examined the items, Benson remained nearby, observing. He adjusted his position subtly, ensuring control over the scene. The body cam recorded each movement, every glance, and the interactions between the officers. The property owner arrived, called by dispatch. Benson explained the situation, describing where the items were found and the steps taken to secure them. The body cam captured the conversation, recording the owner's reactions and questions. Suddenly, the body cam caught a movement that Benson had not anticipated. The backup officer noticed something unusual about how the items had been handled. Questions arose regarding the chain of custody. The footage recorded the initial confusion and the precise sequence of actions. Benson attempted to maintain authority, explaining his process and assuring that evidence had been secured properly. The body cam recorded every verbal explanation, every motion, and the officer's attempts to justify the handling of evidence. The property owner expressed concern, and the backup officer began documenting everything in detail. Every step, every instruction, and every response was captured by Benson's body cam. The recording provided an unbroken account of actions, movements, and statements. The scene remained tense. Benson continued speaking, maintaining a controlled demeanor while the backup officer checked the items. Each gesture, each adjustment, and each verbal instruction was preserved on the recording. 8 minutes of footage recorded the critical sequence. The body cam captured the moment the items were placed in the bag, the interactions with the backup officer, and the property owner's arrival. Every second was documented clearly, preserving the sequence of events in full. By the end of the encounter, all items had been secured for official processing. Benson documented the incident in his report, ensuring that the footage was stored and backed up. Chain of custody procedures were noted, and all materials were prepared for review. The body cam had preserved every step of the encounter, from the initial discovery of the items to the arrival of the property owner and the verification by backup officers. The recording provided objective evidence of actions, statements, and movements throughout the incident. Benson left the scene, believing that the routine call had concluded successfully. However, the Bodycam had recorded more than he realized. The footage captured every action, including moments of poor judgment and subtle manipulations. 8 minutes of unedited video now held the truth of the night, ready for review and exposure. The documentation, backup statements, and Bodycam footage would later reveal the precise sequence of events, demonstrating procedural steps, errors, and the critical moment when accountability became unavoidable. The following morning, Officer Mark Benson returned to the precinct to submit his official report. The previous night's events were documented in his log, but now the Bodycam footage became the focal point. Every step, motion, and verbal exchange had been recorded, preserving the complete sequence for review. Lieutenant Harper and Sergeant Diaz were present in the review room. The Bodycam device was placed on the table, its indicator light showing continuous recording. Benson provided his account while the footage was cued for playback. Every motion and statement was to be scrutinized. He began with the dispatch call. A theft had been reported in the neighborhood. Benson described his arrival, approach to the alley, and initial survey of the scene. He detailed how he found the items near the dumpster and the steps he took to secure them. Every movement was tied to departmental protocol in his explanation. The Bodycam footage was played. The first minutes captured Benson moving toward the items, his flashlight scanning the area, and his glances to ensure safety. The audio, clearly, recorded his verbal communication with dispatch, noting location and initial findings. The backup officer's arrival was documented in detail, showing the sequence of actions and coordination between personnel. At a critical moment, the footage showed Benson reaching into the bag and placing items inside. The camera angle and audio captured the subtle movements that later became the focus of internal review. The backup officer, unaware of what had occurred before his arrival, began documenting the recovered items. The Bodycam preserved the entire process. Harper paused the footage to examine the actions. "Explain this section," she said, pointing to the moment Benson adjusted the items. Benson described his reasoning, claiming procedural steps and securing evidence. Every motion, he asserted, was intended to ensure proper handling. The review team noted the sequence, timing, and actions for further analysis. Dispatch logs were referenced alongside the video. The timing of calls, the backup officer's arrival, and the interaction with the property owner were consistent with the footage. Every entry corroborated the timeline of events, confirming the sequence of discovery, collection, and documentation. Backup officers provided statements confirming their observations. They described Benson's handling of evidence, interactions with the property owner, and movements throughout the scene. Their accounts partially corroborated the official narrative, but inconsistencies began to surface under scrutiny. The Bodycam, however, remained an objective witness to the precise sequence. Security camera footage from nearby areas was also reviewed. The angles provided context to the alleyway, the approach, and the handling of the items. Multiple perspectives ensured verification of location, timing, and actions. The combined evidence painted a clear picture of the encounter, including minor deviations from standard procedure. Internal Affairs joined the review. They scrutinized the moment Benson placed items in the bag. The Bodycam provided undeniable evidence. The audio captured subtle cues, while the video showed hand placement and movement. The team noted a discrepancy between Benson's verbal report and his actions on camera. Benson explained his steps, emphasizing intent to secure evidence. The review team analyzed procedural guidelines, confirming the proper collection of items should have occurred without manipulation. The footage suggested that Benson had altered placement before backup documentation, raising concerns about evidence integrity. The property owner's statement was reviewed. They noted items had been found in a specific location, and Benson had assured proper recovery. The recorded footage clarified the sequence, highlighting deviations from standard evidence handling practices. Internal Affairs conducted a detailed frame-by-frame analysis. Each movement was examined, reaching into the bag, adjusting items, and interactions with the backup officer. Audio provided context, capturing statements made by Benson during the process. The evidence was clear. The Bodycam recorded the planting of evidence, contradicting the official report. Benson maintained a calm demeanor, explaining actions as procedural adjustments. The review team assessed intent, method, and deviation from protocol. Every step was documented and cross-referenced with logs, statements, and video. The 8 minutes of footage revealed the precise moment accountability was required. Dispatch logs confirmed timing and coordination. Backup officers confirmed their observations, though unaware of prior manipulation. The chain of custody was scrutinized. Internal Affairs noted that procedural safeguards had been bypassed, and the Bodycam had captured it unambiguously. Counsel was consulted to evaluate legal implications. The footage indicated a breach of protocol and potential misconduct. Every second of the 8-minute recording provided a clear, objective record of actions. Documentation and analysis ensured an accurate account of the event. By afternoon, a preliminary report was drafted. The report highlighted the evidence handling, the discrepancy between reported and recorded actions, and the role of the Bodycam in exposing the incident. Internal Affairs emphasized that the footage preserved the truth and would be central to any administrative or legal proceedings. Benson was required to provide a supplementary statement. Every detail was reviewed, including verbal communications, interactions with the property owner, and coordination with backup. The footage and audio reinforced the accountability framework, demonstrating the precise sequence of deviations. The review concluded with a focus on corrective measures. Internal Affairs recommended procedural reinforcement, emphasizing Bodycam usage, proper evidence handling, and documentation integrity. The 8 minutes of video became a critical training example for the department. Mitchell's replacement as lead officer for training prepared materials based on the incident. The Bodycam footage illustrated the importance of transparency, adherence to protocol, and the consequences of improper handling of evidence. By the end of the day, all materials were secured. The Bodycam footage was backed up in multiple locations, annotated, and included in internal reports. The analysis confirmed that the recording provided undeniable documentation of misconduct. Every frame, every second, and every word was preserved, creating a clear record of the event and officer accountability. The incident highlighted the role of Bodycams in ensuring integrity. 8 minutes of continuous recording captured actions that verbal reports alone could not. The footage exposed discrepancies, verified events, and provided a foundation for departmental and legal review. The internal review intensified the following day. Officer Mark Benson was called to the Internal Affairs office for a detailed meeting. The Bodycam footage from the previous night was cued on the monitor. Every second of the 8-minute recording would be scrutinized. Benson took a seat, maintaining a composed demeanor, though tension was evident in his posture. Lieutenant Harper began the session. Officer Benson, we will review the Bodycam footage in its entirety. Please explain each section as we go through it. The playback started. The video showed Benson approaching the alley and discovering the items. Every movement was precise, every glance recorded. The audio captured his communication with dispatch, noting location and initial findings. The first minutes appeared routine, but subtle motions indicated something unusual. As the footage progressed, Internal Affairs paused at the moment Benson reached into the bag and adjusted the items. Harper asked, "Explain this action." Benson attempted to justify his movements, claiming he was ensuring proper placement and security of evidence. His explanation was calm, controlled, but the video revealed a discrepancy between his report and his actions. The footage clearly showed manipulation inconsistent with standard evidence procedures. Sergeant Diaz highlighted the sequence frame by frame. Each adjustment, every hand movement was analyzed. The audio confirmed that Benson had spoken during the process, making statements inconsistent with the official documentation. The review team noted the manipulation and the precise moment accountability would be required. Benson remained seated, answering questions but maintaining minimal defense. The evidence was indisputable. The backup officer's statement corroborated the arrival and handling procedures, while the Bodycam captured the exact sequence prior to their involvement. Every second of footage showed the actions in unbroken clarity. Harper continued, "The Bodycam records objective actions. Your handling of the items contradicts your report. Please explain." Benson reiterated that his intention had been procedural, aimed at securing evidence. Internal Affairs questioned the rationale, emphasizing chain of custody protocols. The footage highlighted deviations from required handling, creating a clear record of misconduct. The property owner's statements were reviewed simultaneously. They had noted the discovery of items but could not account for the adjustments made before backup officers documented the evidence. The Bodycam clarified the sequence, leaving no ambiguity. Internal Affairs scrutinized the audio carefully. Every word spoken, every command issued, every verbal explanation was recorded in high clarity. Benson's statements during the incident contradicted his written report, and the Bodycam preserved this contradiction. The review focused on compliance with departmental protocol. Benson's deviation from procedure was evident. Internal Affairs emphasized that every officer is accountable for proper evidence handling, and the Bodycam had captured the violation without gaps. Benson was asked to provide a detailed verbal explanation for each moment in the footage where adjustments occurred. His account was reviewed against the video frame by frame. The inconsistencies were clear, and the recording preserved objective evidence of misconduct. Legal counsel joined to observe. They highlighted the implications of the recorded actions, emphasizing that the Bodycam provided undeniable proof of deviation from procedure. Every movement, every word, and every gesture was documented without alteration. Internal Affairs discussed the consequences. The 8-minute Bodycam footage had captured the critical moments, documenting the act of planting evidence. The video was clear, and the audio confirmed verbal statements and actions. The review concluded that the Bodycam had preserved an unbroken record, providing a foundation for disciplinary action. Benson's responses were carefully documented. The review team noted his explanations, the moments of hesitation, and attempts to justify procedural deviations. The footage offered an objective, undeniable account of the incident. The meeting lasted several hours. Each second of the Bodycam footage was analyzed, cross-referenced with backup officer statements, dispatch logs, and property owner observations. The unbroken recording provided clarity, confirming the sequence and demonstrating accountability. By the end of the session, Internal Affairs summarized the findings. The evidence showed clear procedural deviations, providing the department with an accurate record of the incident. The Bodycam had fulfilled its role in preserving truth and ensuring accountability. Benson left the meeting understanding the severity of the situation. The 8-minute recording had captured every critical action. The video and audio had preserved a factual account of misconduct, leaving no room for misinterpretation. The next phase would determine the disciplinary measures, but the documentation and Bodycam evidence had already established an unalterable record of the officer's actions. Every frame, every second, and every word were intact. The incident would serve as a case study in accountability and procedural compliance. The following day, Officer Mark Benson was summoned again. Internal Affairs had completed their detailed analysis of the Bodycam footage, backup statements, dispatch logs, and property owner accounts. The 8 minutes of recording had been reviewed multiple times, frame by frame, capturing every movement and verbal exchange. The evidence was clear, objective, and undeniable. Lieutenant Harper opened the meeting. Officer Benson, the Bodycam footage has revealed actions that deviate from departmental protocol. Every movement you made while handling the recovered items was recorded. Your report and verbal explanations conflict with what the camera captured. Benson attempted to explain, reiterating that he believed he was securing the evidence properly. Internal Affairs paused him repeatedly, showing frames from the body cam, highlighting the exact moments where items had been manipulated before backup officers documented them. The footage provided no room for ambiguity. Sergeant Diaz added, "The backup officer arrived after these actions, and the chain of custody is compromised. Your account does not match objective evidence. This footage will be central in determining the outcome." The meeting continued with a detailed breakdown. Internal Affairs presented each segment of the 8-minute recording, comparing it with Benson's report and statements. Every adjustment of the items, every movement of his hands, every word spoken was documented and preserved. The body cam had captured the act of planting evidence. Benson sat quietly as the review team outlined the severity of the misconduct. The footage clearly demonstrated a deliberate attempt to alter the evidence, compromising the integrity of the investigation. Every procedural safeguard had been bypassed, and the recording provided an unbroken record of those actions. Legal counsel reviewed the documentation alongside Internal Affairs. The combination of body cam video, audio, and verified logs created a strong, irrefutable case. Benson's explanations were examined against the objective evidence. The body cam had captured everything necessary to establish the truth. The property owner's statements were also included. Although unaware of the manipulation, their accounts supported the timeline of discovery and the arrival of backup officers. The body cam verified the sequence, revealing deviations in Benson's handling before documentation could occur. Benson's disciplinary review was thorough. Each step was analyzed, and every verbal explanation compared against the video. Internal Affairs emphasized that the footage preserved both actions and intent, documenting the moment when accountability became unavoidable. The 8-minute recording had proven critical. It captured not only the movements and verbal exchanges but also the precise timing of procedural deviations. The documentation left no room for misinterpretation, providing a complete, objective account of misconduct. By mid-afternoon, a recommendation was prepared. Internal Affairs proposed suspension and further disciplinary measures. The report emphasized the role of body cam footage in exposing misconduct, ensuring accountability, and protecting the integrity of the department. Benson's career was now at stake. The review team made it clear that planting evidence violated department policy, compromised legal processes, and undermined public trust. The body cam footage had preserved undeniable proof. Backup copies of the video were secured, encrypted, and cataloged. The chain of custody for the recording itself was maintained meticulously, ensuring that the evidence remained unaltered and fully verifiable. Internal Affairs summarized, "Officer Benson, your actions are documented clearly. The evidence shows a deviation from protocol. The body cam has preserved every critical moment. This footage will be used for administrative and legal purposes, as well as for training within the department." The incident would serve as a case study. Officers would review the recording to understand the importance of body cam usage, proper evidence handling, and maintaining integrity in all procedures. 8 minutes of video demonstrated the consequences of procedural violations and the importance of accountability. By the end of the day, Benson's report, statements, and body cam footage were filed permanently in the department's records. The 8-minute encounter had been preserved in full, demonstrating procedural deviation, misconduct, and the role of objective recording in enforcing accountability. The next video will examine another intense body cam encounter, highlighting the consequences of poor judgment and the critical role of documentation. A free guide on evidence handling, body cam protocol, and procedural compliance will be available to help officers protect themselves and ensure integrity in the field.